everybody. Welcome back into another edition of Keeping Up with Cherokee County Athletics. I'm here with head football coach, Coach Kelly, who's coming off a 49-0 victory over the Etowah Blue Devils last week. And before we get into that, Coach, we want to thank Gadsden Golf Carts for all they do for Cherokee County Athletics. It's been a pleasure coming out here each and every week, keeping up with you guys and volleyball as well. But take us back to last Friday night in Natal, Alabama, and Jim Glover Field and how that all transpired.
First of all, it was I'd never been there. And I think last time that Cherokee County had played Etowah in maybe a region game or just a non-region game or whatever, but I think it was 1985, 1986 was the last time that Cherokee County has played over there. And you would think just being so close, it would have been a lot sooner or a lot more often or whatnot. But, I mean, the populations of two high schools have been kind of up and down, so you never know what classification you're going to be in. But cool setup, grass is well maintained. I thought the field was as far as natural surfaces, one of the better ones we played on all year long. And the guys they get up for that game. It's two traditional, good football programs. They're a playoff team. We were trying to lock up the region championship, and the guys were motivated. They played really good, and Etowah, they got some good players. They made it tough, especially early on. We had a hard time bringing the quarterback down. I know we talked about that last week a little bit about being one of the keys that we had to defend. And he's a good player. And early on, they put together a lot of pretty long drives, and defense did a good job of playing the red zone extremely well, forcing turnovers, getting them fourth down stops, and then offense just continued to kind of control the clock and win the line of scrimmage. And we had a lot of rushing yards the other night. Jacob went for almost 300 and had 4 touchdowns. Carson Tittle had some really long runs in the third quarter. And the third quarter was probably one of my favorite quarters of this year because, when you make halftime adjustments and you talk to the guys at halftime, you don't necessarily always know if they're going to do what we say or do what we need to be done. And they came out and did exactly like spot on, bullet point, everything that we talked about at halftime. And the third quarter, we were able to kind of pull away from it. And then we put the JV guys in the fourth and gave them a lot of reps and a chance to run some plays. And we don't have a lot of JV games. So they do a great job of getting our guys prepared on a weekly basis. They take a lot of hits, a lot of shots with the defense that, is one of the top ones statistically in the state. Imagine being the scout team offense going against that every week. So they had a chance to run a lot of plays, and they deserve it. I mean, like I said, what they do at practice every day, and us not having a B-team game anymore, it's hard to keep those guys locked in, but that's just taught. Realistically, they come in here on a daily basis and do their job and do it well. And so I think they scored twice on our first team defense yesterday. Hopefully it's just because it was a Monday, off day for the first defense. But I think Hendo lost his mind a little bit at practice yesterday, and I think that's attributed to, all right, Monday they're trying to, not really necessarily start the standard until Tuesday, so to speak, as far as physicality, maybe healing up from Friday. But then the B-team guys, man, they're getting better. Yeah. And for us, that's what we want because, competition battles are never – it's an endless game. And we don't get the red shirt kids. So if a kid is hungry and he's prepped and he's ready to go, we'll use that as competition and start giving them some reps with the ones and see what happens. And so it makes everybody better when you can create competition like that.
Coach, when you come into this season, the expectations were going to be there. You knew there's certain games that had to be circled. Etowah had to be one of those. Getting your guys up ain't been a problem all year. I mean, but there's certain times they just turn it on to another level. How as a head coach do you get them guys to dial into that each and every week?
Well,
I know it's hard to do.
It is. We just try to use. Sometimes it can be external. Sometimes it can be internal. Sometimes with us, I feel like it's just being consistent. And it's a double-edged sword because we want to practice physical, because we're a physical team. But at the same time, we don't want to get anybody hurt. At the same time, that's always
juggling.
But, we felt like being physical the right way is the best way to get us prepared for a Friday. So we try to keep them off the ground. We try to thud up as much as we can. We try to, follow the contact restrictions that the state provides.
Gotcha.
And even if we're in a team setting where it's 11 on 11, we try to thud up as much as we can and just prepare for the opponents. And each week creates its own. We don't get a lot of external motivation, but a couple weeks ago, one of our local writers, I think, did me a favor by writing, I think it was a Fultondale game. I begged them to pick against us every now and then, just give me something. And so he picked for us, but he did a good job of writing an article a certain way that when I read it, I was like, oh God, this is easy. All I got to do is post that thing up. And the guys literally had the newspaper on fire before I even got in here. Like that.
It's already been passed around.
So yeah, it was, just whatever we can. If there's external things like that, we'll use it. But you can't fool the kids.
That's right.
I mean, they've been around me since they were in the 7th grade. They know when I'm uptight. They know when it's a big game. They know when, sometimes I've had to unshare film because I was like, if they watch this film, they're going to think that team's not any good. And they don't necessarily know the course of the game and how the game went or the circumstances. They're hurt, they're this, they're that. But it still just comes down to us. And I know that's cliche. We almost talk about this every single week, but it's how they prepare and how they go about it on a daily basis. We were fantastic in the weight room yesterday. We were right at average on the field. I thought the B team guys did a better job of preparing than the varsity guys. And we're going to be honest. Like, I'm going to tell them if it's not our standard, it is what it is.
Yep.
You're going to take the medicine, and we're going to get better one way or the other. And so it's really just about us.
We're down to the last 2 weeks. You guys got the region championship wrapped up now, which is a blessing all in itself. But we're closing out with Asheville and Fort Payne, and I know those are two totally different type teams on level wise and things like that. But it gives you a chance to dial in the next 2 weeks for these two opponents. What are you looking to see out of your guys mainly, or what are you looking to dial in on the most?
This week, it's about our standard, and Asheville has got some good skill guys. I mean, offensively, they're very dynamic. They've scored some points, and they hung, I think, 39, almost 40 points on Aniana last week. And Aniana's kind of banged up and this and that, but at the end of the day, they were in the red zone a lot, and they had some turnovers, like one on the 1 yard line, I think. And their running back's really good. If he's got holes, he broke 2 big runs against Aniana, so that tells me right there that they can hurt you for sure. They play extremely hard. They're hungry. They haven't had a lot of success this year, and they've had a coaching change. A new coach coming in is trying to build his culture, and at the same time, they're going to be hungry to get that first win under the belt. Coaches, I've been in that situation. I think my first year, my team started off 0-5, and then we finished the year 4-1 and ended up playing for a region championship. And it didn't go our way, but, I mean, you never know when the switch is going to kind of turn on for those kids. And, so I know that Friday is a test for us about going out there and being us and playing to our standards and defending what they do well, which we try to do every week. And then Fort Payne is it's going to be – it really ain't got nothing to do with Fort Payne as much as it does with, like, me being with this bunch since they've been in the 7th grade and their senior night. Right. And,
that'll be senior night here.
It'll be senior night here. It's our last home game of the season. Gotcha. And it's just about, how you want to go out, how you want to put the stamp on it. We've been together a long time. What do we want to do?
Gotcha.
And we broke out some new uniforms Yesterday, I surprised the guys with a little uniform, and so they got a big kick of it. And I think I almost had to break up a fight by what scheme we wanted to wear. Not really, but there was a heated debate in here about which one looked better. And I was like, guys, are we in the barbershop? Like, where are we at right now? And but I'm telling you, man, this late in the season, seems like it's been a long time since we've been going, because we started, the week after the state championship game. We've been grinding ever since. The summers are long, and seem like the season never gets here. It's almost like just slows it down in the summertime. But then once the season started,
oh man,
we're at week 9 right now.
It's light
and
speed.
It goes so fast, but I enjoy every minute, every day with these kids. I mean, they're just so.
Chose the right profession.
Man, I tell you, I've got the best job in America because I get to come in here and develop and be with this bunch every single day, and they're just so much fun. Man, if they didn't do things the right way and they didn't let you coach them and develop them, it might be different, but it's really fun to do on a daily basis.
Coach, any other tidbits you'd like to tell anybody before we shut this one down?
Friday night, man, last Friday, our community come out, and it was awesome. And I'm telling you, we've got the best community football town. I think they travel better than anybody we've seen this year.
That's good.
I mean, they come out. I can just sit here and name off the away games that we've had, and they've been packed, every single one of them. So I want to thank my fan base and the Warrior community, and let's keep this thing rolling.
Coach, I appreciate you. God willing, we'll be back each and every week with another edition of Keeping Up with Cherokee County Athletics with Coach Kelly. Thank you guys for watching. All right, welcome back in to another edition of Keeping Up with Cherokee County Athletics. And Coach, it's that time of year. We got to come see you guys play last week in your area tournament. You guys won that area tournament. You already had solidified a place in regionals even before it started, but I know you had to be happy to win the whole thing and have some momentum heading into this all-important regional tournament coming up Thursdays. What time do you guys start Thursday?
We play at 10:15.
10:15 a.m. So anybody out there wants to come support the girls, it's in Huntsville, Alabama, correct? What's the name of that?
The Von Braun Center.
The Von Braun Center. So you young ladies and fellas out there that want to come support these young ladies, I know they'd be looking forward to bringing some of Cherokee County up there, because that place, the atmosphere up there is unbelievable.
It is. Of course, last year was the first time that we'd been in several years, and so none of our girls had ever been there.
Gotcha.
And when they walked in, I mean, you could just see their eyes get real big. And you try to prepare them for that, because we knew what it was like.
Yeah.
But you can't. I mean,
it's
just a
world.
whole different atmosphere.
And I went there last year. Went there, and I actually had the pleasure to go to state as well. But man, you can't really simulate that. Even in practice, you can bring in noisemakers, whatever. Yes. There's games going on beside you. There's crowds in the front and the back. There's constantly people walking. There's noise everywhere. How are you guys going to try to somehow simulate that?
Well, like you said, I don't know that you can.
That's true.
We practice with music wide open a lot of times.
That helps.
In the past, I've also had servers back there working on their serves while the rest of the team is literally right behind them screaming in their ear. Not anything ugly, but you know what I mean.
That's what they're going to get there.
Yeah. And then I think one of the things that we try to focus on the most is visualization, especially this year, since now they know, the majority of them know what it looks like and what it feels like to play there. We told them yesterday at the end of practice, you should be going home, and before you go to bed, you see yourself on that court, in that building, with that atmosphere. See yourself, moving your feet, making good passes. Macy, see yourself getting to the ball and making good sets. Hitters, see your high contact, all that kind of stuff. And then I also told them, see us being up real big and finishing a match, and then see us visualize us having to come from behind and win a match, because you never know what's going to happen, And so I think mental preparation is something we've been talking about all year long.
100%. The way you guys practice, when you make everything competitive, like with your tribes, that has to help play into this. Have you seen some of that transition onto the court during actual gameplay?
Yeah, we'll see our girls. After the match, they'll come and say, "Let me see the stat sheet." oh, I got more kills than you, or whatever. And they're not making fun of each other. It's healthy competition.
Right.
They want to be the best at their job, and that's what we need them to do.
I have an exchange student that lives with me. Goes to school here in America. He's a senior. He watched you guys play. He was with me last week, and he's seen Macy's play, and he said, "Bo, this is a quarterback of volleyball, correct?"
Yes.
And but to see somebody who don't even know much about volleyball to say that has to say volumes.
Yes, and I describe her that way to a lot of people who don't really know the game that well. And she does. She runs that offense just like a quarterback would, like a top-notch quarterback would.
Yeah, she's a field general, and she does no-look passes, and I mean, it's just she sets the girls up for success. But having somebody like that is just like calm and steady, and kind of controls and sets up things. How awesome is that from a coaching standpoint?
I told her this summer that she had no idea what a relief it is to me as the coach to know that the game is in her hands. Because like you said, she is calm, she is collected, she's extremely smart. She can call plays, or we can tell her something from the bench and say, hey, Macy, we need to do this with this one hitter. And in her mind, she knows, okay, well, if that means that this hitter's got to do this, then I got to turn around and tell this hitter to do this and this hitter to do this, because it changes everything. And I was sick the last tournament that the one that we hosted. I wasn't there. But I was watching it on video. And that's kind of a different perspective when you didn't see it. When you didn't see it in person, and you're watching it, on Huddle or whatever, and just to watch her make all those split-second decisions from a different viewpoint for me, anyway. I was impressed with her all over again.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was. He don't even know much about volleyball, but he said he looked at her and he was like, man, she's just setting these people up like a quarterback. He says set them up, like that's his terminology, like sets them up, instead of passing or whatever. Now, going into these regionals, what are some of the things that you guys have got to get done? Like when we step on that court at regionals, these are the things we have to get done if we're going to be successful here.
I would say, of course, I've been watching film for a week now of the other teams that we could face. And I would say, based on that, obviously the very basic thing of volleyball is you got to be able to pass and you got to be able to serve.
Correct.
So ball control, number one, putting serves in the court, but making sure those serves are also a weapon to throw them off their game on the other side, make them play out of system. Those are the two things I would say the most. And then, like we've talked about all year, limiting our errors. And I think if we can do that, we got as good a shot at Birmingham as anybody. Yeah,
take a good serve and getting people behind. And another football terminology is kind of getting people behind the chain, so to speak. It's like third and long.
Yes.
Because by the time they recruit, they can't get a good set off, and then you can't get a good kill shot because you're basically just trying to get it over the net somehow.
Right. That makes it a whole lot easier for the defense to read and know what to do.
Your girls did a pretty good job of that. We seen the other day, and but another thing that I really noticed, I was really proud of to see, is your crowd was unbelievable. I mean, it was like a regional basketball tournament at JSU type atmosphere. Talk about that crowd that you guys had.
Well, of course, our parents are wonderful anyway. Dusty and I, all of our coaching staff, we're always bragging on our parents. We got some of the best parents you could ask for.
Gotcha.
They back us. We don't have any yang going on, none of that, and they show up for their kids, and that's important.
That's good.
Because as a coach, you don't always see that everywhere you go.
That is absolutely correct.
Breaks your heart. But our parents are very good to be there for their kids, and they cheer on everybody else's kids. They're just as happy for the other kid as they are for their own. And then the faculty and staff here and at the middle school and the elementary school, they show up for the kids. They love the girls, and they're happy to see them succeed. And then the student section was unreal.
Unreal.
Yeah, and it's really good to see, all the other athletes.
That's right.
That whole front row was football players.
That's right.
And
they were loud.
Very loud. And, and I know some of the girls with their girlfriends or whatever and all that kind of stuff, but they would have been there anyway.
Yeah. And the whiteout, too. I thought that was special.
Yeah.
It's fun to see, like, Jacob Cornejo and them out there just screaming their
Thursday's
heads off.
blackout, so.
It is?
Everybody
guys,
will be in
remember
black
that.
Thursday.
Coach, what are any other tidbits you may want to tell the parents, whether it be parking or travel or what time you guys are leaving or anything, or any other tidbits about this tournament coming up?
Well, I'm the organized one that's already given everybody an itinerary.
Gotcha. There you go.
But yeah, we're pulling out tomorrow about lunchtime. We're gonna do kind of a little send off here, go through the elementary school, the middle school, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and then we're gonna go to the hotel, do all our kind of team meeting, all that kind of stuff, and then we'll be there probably about 9:00, 9:30.
Gotcha.
Thursday morning, and we go in a different place than the regular fans do, but it's $10 at the gate if you buy it on GoFan. At the gate you have to pay $12, and it's got to be exact change in cash.
Okay, so you can pay with cash, but it's $12.
You can pay with cash, but it's more, and it's got to be exact change.
So they're trying to get you to lean towards GoFan.
And GoFan, honestly, it's just easier.
Yeah,
it's easier at the gate. It's quicker.
I know some of our grandparents that will not fool with it, but anybody our age or so, I mean, well, I'm way older than you, but anybody under 50 will probably lean towards GoFan. Grandparents will probably still pay at the gate. But Coach, anything else, or is that about it for this week?
That's about it for this week. I want to say I appreciate everybody coming out for the area tournament, and I hope everybody will show up Thursday and show the girls the love they deserve. That's right, Coach. Good luck to you guys, and one of us, if not two of us, will be there Thursday as well. So hopefully we'll get some good pictures of you guys. That's it for this week. Keeping up with Cherokee County Athletics. We'll be back here each and every week. And Coach, you keep rolling. We're going to go all the way to Birmingham with you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good one.